Why not? I'll run a little early. Why not? Why not? What's going on, Simon? Hope everything's good with you, brother. Let's see who we got in the house here. All right. I gotta stop kicking myself out. I swear, this is so unprofessional. I gotta learn these buttons. All right. Who's here? Who's here? Who's candidate? Who's Simon? I see Simon in the house. Who else? So, well, all right. Come on up. Is it solo layout? What that mean? I don't want to exit solo layout. Let me see who's. All right. I got that straight. Let's see. Comments. Brand. Display names. Paste. There you go. Make sure that logo's up. And what else? This is it. All right. Now we're going to show that. And show that.
Because I'm like, well, just as long as I get there safe, like, I really don't care. Like,
well, that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you.
Down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
All right. What's going on? What's going on? All right, I know how to do that part. And solo.
Hello, Carl.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, you started the show.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries. I guess we are all here now.
Yay!
What's up, Simon?
Yeah, you're 4 minutes in deep.
4 minutes in deep.
What do you I mean, this say start early if you like. So I said, well, let me see what this is and that is. And,
How y'all guys doing? Y'all can hear me?
Pretty good. How about yourself, Outlaw?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I just got off of work, so I'm just trying to eat a little bit and situate myself.
Usually we start at 8:30, but Carl's running the show today.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's good meeting y'all.
How did you do that?
Oh, did you hear that? Don't tell me you heard that. You heard that too, then? Yeah, that's the missus right there.
iPhone or Android?
I love Android.
It's actually off the laptop. I got a Google Chromebook, and what you're hearing is the chime coming from the Text Now app.
Carl, don't get one of them. You'll be real confused.
Yeah, listen. I'm probably the only brother that still believe in Windows 7. I'm not graduated to Windows 10 yet. When
you can find me something running on Windows 7 still, I'll join you.
I still got it. My laptop. Yeah, I swear to God.
It's still back though, right? All the new ones don't have Windows 7 no more. They have XP or better.
Right.
Yeah, man. What's after XP?
Find what fits you.
I couldn't tell. I think it's something called Suite, like Windows Suite or something like that. It's just an upgrade of XP.
Whichever one came out right before Windows 10, that's what I got.
Yeah, I was about to say Windows 10.
Yeah, I didn't get to that yet.
I think you got XP then, because I have XP on my other laptop before I switched over to Google. So the last one that I know of is XP.
Yeah, that confuses me. I'm not used to it. I was never taught that, and I'm gonna stay old school.
It's funny because I remember back in I'm in the South right now, and the education system is different than the education system up north. Like up north, they teach you how to use computers. Down here, there's no computer course unless you schedule it yourself. Like if you're a young man trying to go into high school, you have to schedule that like extra courses. Other than that, you're gonna get the standard math, English, geometry. If you go to Catholic school, it'll be like religion or theology. They don't call it religion anymore; it's theology now.
I don't care what they call it. I mean, the fact of the matter is what happens is you could put any course out there, and people will still be sort of asking their next door neighbor how to log onto Facebook. I mean, this is it's sort of like, I mean, this is the
trial and error.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's how I learned back in the 80s.
Put it like this: they give you things on a table. You got your standard courses, and out of those 5 or 6 courses you pick, one of them can replace theology, basically. But you have to do social studies, math, English. Of course, you got PE. PE is always going to be there, but other than that, you always got your 4 basic standard things, and then you might have 1 or 2, extracurricular.
Well, as y'all just saw, that's how I learned how to do computers and how to navigate by pressing buttons. Like I just started the show.
Trial and error.
Yo, that's how I started. I mean, that's how everyone starts. I mean,
if you get it wrong, just turn off the computer and start again.
Yeah, I was quick with that.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
You done well, Carl, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm learning. Because I was looking, I'm like, banners, brand. Oh, okay. Oh, what's that? Oh, what does it? Oh, okay. I'm right. That.
Starts popping up, and you're like,
All you need to do now is get that book that says C++ on it, and you're good.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
It's a trap.
I'm gonna give y'all a confession. Last year, my birthday, I had planned on DJing live, right? I'm not a DJ. I just started this crap, learning Fusion DJ. So nice. I got the laptop. I got my little beginner set right there. On the day that I'm getting ready to start, I got Twitch over there on the laptop. I got this laptop over here. I'm going to do Facebook and with one phone Instagram with the other phone. I'm ready. What happens? The laptop went dead on me.
So
No
you forgot
problem.
the most important part was to charge the computer.
No. I think it's a motherboard or something, but everything went. So
the system crashed.
Yeah. So I just took the laptop, throw it on the bed, went in the living room. I swear to God, I got the desktop.
Nice.
And I've been DJing with that desktop ever since.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it weighs? Like a good 5 pounds? That little box?
Oh my Lord.
The long brain, what's that? The tower is on the floor. And then you got the big monitor on the table.
Oh, you had a little workout.
And thank God the keyboard and the mouse is wireless connected. So it was like, okay, great. And I got the shark,
We got a question. We got a question from the panel.
Salute, bro. Much love from Singapore. Salute. Question
I heard a lobster dinner in Singapore is like $5.
Oh, don't.
Salute, bro. Much love from Singapore. Question to the panel.
I promise you, and it'd probably be the best cooking you ever had for $5. A lobster dinner.
Hold on a second. If you guys could tell your 18-year-old self advice, what would it be and why?
Even if it gets hard, you got to keep pushing through. Don't ever quit, because the biggest enemy is yourself. Self-doubt in the mind causes a whole bunch of things to grow. You have that one seed of just doubt, and you'll live. If you dwell on that doubt, it'll manifest itself. I think they call it self-fulfilling
prophecy.
Prophecy. There you go. So basically, the one thing I tell a lot of young people, because I do a little youth ministering. Like I'm 33 currently right now, and I train a lot of the younger kids that are in high school that are about 18 or on the cusp of 18 going into college. I do physical training for them, build their legs, build their body, build their mind.
Okay.
Start from the ground up, because physical strength is a limitation based on your mind. A lot of people feel like they don't have the time, but if you discipline yourself to put training in there, you can discipline yourself to put other things to make you
it's a good distraction too from getting into trouble. So
absolutely, listen,
because you focus on that time space of doing that workout. So
with a name like Outlaw, damn well I've been in trouble too many times. So
I wonder
what
does this guy mean? Like what manimal? Like what area are you asking about? Is there a specific area you're asking about advice for your 18-year-old self, ourselves?
I think it might be a general thing.
Just general life advice.
Maybe just
I took it as general.
Right. Whether you want to touch a little bit on relationship, I would touch more on myself or like a being of my inner. So like when I see a question like that, I figure somebody wants to better themselves.
Oh, you're talking about dating in general. That changed the whole dynamic. Come on, Simon.
Dating is a numbers game. I'll tell you one thing. You know how I learned about dating? I got my courage from talking to every woman that I met at the mall. Me and my friends would go to the mall, and there'd be a group of us, and we'd all be like, "Oh, go talk to that girl. Go talk to that girl." And it's trial and error. So we would build up our confidence and our speech in talking to women, because a lot of guys, they might stutter, they might hesitate. Women can see that. That hesitation is easy to defeat. So when you approach a woman, you want to be confident.
That is kind of correct.
At 18,
let me chime in on what Simon's saying. Go ahead, Simon.
At 18 years old, you don't want to really be dating, to be fair. Like, come on. Like, as a man, you don't really want to be dating. It's just, it's not a, it's.
I mean, you want to date. You want to date, but you don't want to be in a serious relationship.
No, you're in some puppy love bullshit. That's what you're in. Like,
yeah, it's nothing serious.
Yeah, so that's not dating. Like, so when we talk about dating, I'm talking about I don't know, when someone says to me date,
Like courting, like courtship.
Yeah, like right.
Yeah,
So like
you
now
can
you're
settle
talking about some other stuff. Like you're getting prepared to be in a relationship. That's not like you know, come on, 18 with socks.
Can I throw some advice at this guy?
Yeah.
I would say at 18 years old, get out and talk to anyone.
Yep, exactly.
Talk to any and every single person. To the old woman, to the young girl, to the fat one, to the skinny one, to the old man, to the old. Get your conversational skills up.
Exactly.
It is massively important. A lot of young guys, because men are very interested in things, we don't actually spend time conversing with people because we prefer to sit behind a computer or play video games. We don't
safety zone. Yeah.
Very good. A comfort zone.
Correct. We sit in our comfort zone for a long time. So become something of a social butterfly. Don't think of dating. Go out and start talking to people. Literally, that's what you should start doing. Even you could start now, tomorrow.
Right.
When you go out, if you go to a bagel shop, say hi, how you doing? How's your day going? To a random person. Start introducing yourself into things like that, because that's how you slowly have to build up that threshold to having conversations with people, random people. In dating, it's a matter of knowing how to have a conversation, knowing how to carry a conversation. That's what dating is.
Yeah,
that's why women could feel when there's that awkward tension, because it's like, okay, this guy doesn't know how to carry on the conversation, meaning he can't really lead.
Correct.
And it literally just translates to a whole bunch of different things that women feel just from you not knowing how to have that conversation. So really and truly, don't think dating. Think, I want to go out and I want to start having conversations with people, because also
it's just really difficult though at 18 years old. I mean,
that's the whole point.
You have to go through the tough stuff. You have to go through the tough stuff and learn and fail. Or fail and learn. You know, you have to get yourself used to doubt. You have to get yourself used to failing in order to succeed. Don't get me wrong. You could have a high success rate. Every woman you talk to, you get the number, and you know, you might not be able to talk to them, but that's on you. But at least you already introduced yourself. You have a common basis to talk. They've invited you in. Now from there, you want to, like I said, have the good people talking skills and just general skills, period, in talking before
How old are you, bro? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
He's 33.
I'm 33, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can forget. I mean, realistically, an 18-year-old who just come out of college, or you know, you're really like you know,
wet behind the ears. He's green.
Right. It's just like who's telling him how to behave? And
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, from my perspective, right? I was raised by older people, so everybody. If I was 18, everybody was at least like 10 years older than me. They were 10 years older than me.
Were they mainly women or men?
Both.
Okay.
Out of the group of 10, I would say 3 or 4 of them were women who probably talked to some of the guys or slept with some of the guys in the group, and they would teach me what's good and what's wrong. And I learned the basis of compassion from, you know, when the girls got their heart broke and they asked questions like, why is he not talking to me? I would get both sides of the story, whether it be good or bad.
Right.
So I learned.
You've been in a very privileged situation where it's like,
yes, because
you've had both sides of the spectrum.
I was raised by the tribe as you were supposed to. You know, once you're
are we supposed to
be raised by the tribe? I would say so, because your parents can only lead you so far. After that, you're in the real world.
Why would you say that?
I agree with that.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say that? Based off of what I've experienced, my parents have never really gone out there and showed me how to talk to women. It would be my peers. You know, my father might have sat over there and introduced me, but in order for you to calculate and move around, you have to see, observe, and experiment. So I would see the older guys of my class or my age group do something, whether it be, you know, as simple as when they kiss a girl, they might take their index finger or pointer finger and, you know, cusp her chin, or do something casually romantic as that, or the wordplay they might use. I grew up in New Jersey, so we're very lyrical, just like
that's kind of interesting. So when you say kiss a girl, right?
Right.
Wait. Hold on. Give me a second. Manimal, thanks for being in the chat, by the way. Manimal, definitely keep, you know, ask whatever questions comes to your mind to the panel. Been in the state for 5 years now. Appreciate the advice. First year of nursing school, brother. Discover you through High Value Nurse. Oh, CJ, my boy CJ. Hey, listen, welcome. We're going to open up the conversation pretty soon to what Carl's actually going to be talking about. The middle guy right there, he's going to be running the show today. So, you know, definitely whenever you feel that urge comes up, ask the question, and we'll do our best to answer whatever we can for you during the conversation. So it is our.
Sorry, I interrupted earlier. We were just talking. So.
No, go ahead. I'm all ears right now.
Yeah, I have whatever you guys.
Outlaw. So
you were asking me, how do I feel about my parents compared to my peers?
No. I was talking about your first kiss.
Right.
Because you were talking about that. So
I was just saying, like, kissing in general, like kissing, speaking to women in general, how to move, how to build up that confidence to do something like that. I learned from sight, I learned from experience, and I learned from living vicariously through others. Because like I said, everybody was older than me. So I watched what they did. And depending on if I thought that was cool or if that was a smooth move, I try to reenact it and put my own thing on it.
So
you know?
your first kiss, how did that go?
Oh shit, boy, I don't even remember. I think I was very nervous at the time. It was a girl that lived like down the street from me. I think I was about 12 or 13 at the time. This was around summer, and I was getting ready to move to Florida. And before I left, this girl was just telling me how she had a crush on me and stuff like that. Now, prior to this, you know, I felt I didn't have the confidence I do now. Right. So at that point in time, the first thing I did was reenact what I saw, which was one of my good friends at the time. If I was 12, he'd probably be like around 18 or 19. You know, when he kissed a girl, he would take, like I said, he'd take the index finger, place it under her chin, and bring her in, like pull her in and make lip contact. And I thought that was cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, you know, little 12-year-old me seeing that shit, I thought that boy was James Bond. So so when I met this girl and she was telling me about, you know, she's gonna miss me and this and that when I'm going away for school in Florida, you know, she leaned in, and when she leaned in, I did the first thing that came to mind, which was look at my homeboy Antonio and remember what he did, and I took the index finger of my hand, my right hand, I pulled it underneath her chin, I brought her in, and I made lip contact with her.
All right, so given that you've given your experience, I'm going to give my experience, right? First girl that I kissed, she couldn't kiss.
Hey.
But this is your first time kissing. This is your first time kissing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's my first time, but it might not have been her first time.
This conversation's going.
Anywho, all right, let's go back.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I remember when guys was taking that 18, your father took you to the strip club. I mean, anyway, what's up, Doc? What's up, Chris?
You're lucky. You're so lucky. You're so lucky. That never happened to me. That never happened to me, boy.
Hi, infamous Doc.
Hey, what's happening?
Glad to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, 5 by 5.
All right.
Welcome.
All right.
So let me know when I can start this, because I know it's 8:33.
Go for it.
Okay. So, pleasantries, everybody. I'm glad you're here. The topic for tonight is everything's going to be in sync. So I could give you a disclaimer. Everything that I'm going to bring up is in sync with the promoting the positive side of marriage, why we should do it, what we benefit from, the history of it, and all the positive sides, not the negative, not the cheating, not the daddy ran out and different wild. We're not dealing with that. Only the positive sides of marriage.
Chair, bro.
That's what I'm going to be discussing. So, going around the panel, what is your definition of marriage? I'm going to start with that for a minute. Your definition of marriage. What is your perception, your definition of marriage?
I feel like marriage consists of loyalty, respect, and a kinship between two people. Like, this is your family, and you hold your family on a pedestal, you know? And what you do with this person is going to not only impact their lives, but the lives of the offspring that you put into the world. You know, there was a Wu-Tang song that I remember where he said, you know, how can you plant roots if your soil is not fertile? Meaning, how can you have a family if you're not deeply involved in the person you call your wife? You know, you always want to be able to have a learning experience with your spouse, whether it be, you know, you guys move through life together and you experience them together, or maybe, like I said before previously, if you're a little bit older and more experienced, you help guide. And I don't mean by bearing down, but I mean by encouraging good behavior. And encouraging good behavior shows strength amongst you as a husband. And I would say a traditional woman who's open ears to, you know, what a man really supposed to be, what his role in the marriage is supposed to be, you know?
Come on, Doc.
I mean, and that's kind of
All
like
right,
a whole different conversation right there. That can go off in a tangent, but that's just the basic.
No. I'm just trying to open it up so everybody get a chance to give me a perspective, their perspective of what marriage is. So, Doc, let's go.
All right, so for me, marriage is a vow and a commitment between man and woman to come into a partnership together with the same common goal and understanding, having a understanding of each other's roles and responsibilities, and having the desire to build upon that.
Great answer.
That's
a great answer. That is, I fuck with that.
Okay.
I do.
Chris?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Good. I would say it's a union. I would say it's a legal and spiritual union between two people to become one. And then kind of what people said before me, too, I agree with.
Okay. Simon?
Oh, yo, marriage is a business, man. You can't detract from that. At the end of the day, like, if I'm going to be involved with somebody else and they're going to be in my life and they're going to know everything about me, and we're going to build together, that means financially as well as emotionally. It's not disconnected in any sort of sense. So are you really trying to tell me you're going to bring a woman into your house, let her be in all of your business, and it's just going to be sweet when she could just, you know, just run off with the next guy and take all your data and intelligence and everything that you've built up in your life? That's crazy.
Correct. The best kind of correct.
You know, that's crazy. So like, I don't play. I don't. Yeah, get on cam. I ain't playing with these girls. I ain't playing with these Negroes either. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, that's what a marriage is, like a union. Like, so I agree to an extent with the Blooming Ebony, and everyone else has their perspective on it. But you're not about to let someone in your house and rat on you because they've got, an issue with the type of toothpaste you have in the morning. I mean, come on. This is what happens. People will have a discrepancy on you on the most slightest, littlest things. That's just relationships. But yeah, that's my perspective.
Okay.
Interesting.
Come on, Doc. Oh, go ahead, Clem.
Oh, I was just gonna say one thing I learned, especially with like the petty arguments. One thing I learned about petty arguments is this: women will test you as a man to test themselves as a woman, if that makes sense. By putting you in a situation to show, like, women, one thing I'll know is that they'll start a ruckus or a small argument just to see where your head is at on an issue, or to see if you care, or to see if you value it, or to see if you hesitate. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be comforted in themselves to know that they made the right decision. Because I've had women wake up out of their sleep and ask me questions, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I had a dream, or I had a feeling, or I had this, I had that. And it's up to you as a man to lay that down to rest.
Do you know why they do that? Do you know why they do that?
Tell me, boss.
Because their father was not there. So what happens?
Stop right there. Two things. I'm gonna just put one, not two. Right. One, we cannot assume for the majority that the father's not there, and I'm only saying that because being correct is more important than just being a blanket. You get what I'm saying? We can't just impose and say, "Oh well."
No, I don't think women are trying to be correct. I really don't. I think. Look, we have this whole conversation, and we put women in a space where it's like, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. They're not really. They're just trying to get along. And the fact of the matter is they have not. If you ever come across a woman, I've come across a lot of women that don't do that. They don't actually have that thing. And what I found is, in that relationship, their kindred, their fathers and their mother is very close to them. The women that actually do that are the women that have no sort of connection, like real connection. They may say, "Oh, I have a father, or I have a cousin, or this or that."
But there's men out here too that are fatherless, motherless. So regardless of the circumstance of why the parent or parents are not in the picture for whatever reason, the learning still has to go on regardless.
There's no learning. Yeah, but there's no learning in it, Carl. I mean, I'm not trying to detract from what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're a man and a woman comes into your life, her whole proviso is that you need to take care of her. So what are you trying to learn from her, or from where?
Right, because that's what she's conditioned. But if remember now, regardless of the past, regardless of the audience, the different subdivisions, mindsets of women that exist out here, it always starts with self. And I think a lot of times men forget that. It always starts with self. If you didn't have your mother in your life, or if you was too much of a mama's boy, if you had your dad in your life or you didn't, whatever the trials, tribulations, traumas, or absences, you still had to learn how to interact with women, how to think for yourself, how to be interdependent, and so forth. Because regardless of who was or wasn't around, you still have to learn how to be a man.
True.
So the issue now is, are you learning properly, or are you trying to use cheat codes? Are you follow the leader? You understand? Or are you really investing that necessary no, I'm not. No, are you dealing with
values?
The necessary, not values, but the necessary framework, foundation. because
the
a lot of
skeleton,
times,
the bones.
Yeah, because a lot of times we all say we want something, but are we qualified? Did we learn what we want before we set out to go get it? You get what I'm saying? Do we focus on what we need in order to get what we want? And when it comes down to marriage, that's one of the things that I'm going to get into. People, we all have our perspective of what marriage is. That's why I asked that question. The next thing I wanted to tap into as a segue to it was what have we obtained to be qualified to even enter into that? Just because we want to get married, just because we have an idea of what marriage is, do we have what we qualify to have to be in that position?
I mean, most people don't understand what marriage is, period.
Well, that's where we're here for. We're going to learn and we're going to teach.
I'm kind of interested in your question, because it's like, how can you obtain something you have no understanding of? You know, I mean, no one.
Simon, this is the point of why I'm doing this, because for years,
is he gonna go on the rant of no one here has been married and I have, so I'm the
no. I'm not
going
into that.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that one.
We're not doing that at all. What I'm saying is this.
I think it's valid. I think it's valid.
I can fast forward on that one.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what we want. We want that car. Are we disciplined enough, focused enough to first learn what a car is, what it's capable of doing, what we should know to maintain it and take care of it, and do we know how to drive? Do we know the traffic law? It's
Are you
easy
comparing women to cars?
No, I'm comparing the concept of we want marriage. And I was getting ready to go into want and need. Bear with me. Our perspective of what marriage is what we have. Now, looking in, male or female, what have we obtained to qualify us to enter into that?
Well, it depends. Are we driving manual or automatic?
Oh my God!
Right, I think I get where Carl's coming from. I think you need to become qualified. I guess.
There you go. Treasure.
You gotta get your driver's license. Start out with your permit.
You're not about right. You can't drive a car unless you're taught and they show you.
Very good.
The roads and the
Bingo.
area that right. So how are you supposed to sort of navigate any other system? If you can't
that kind of touches on Manimal's topic too, when he was talking about what would you tell your 18-year-old self in terms of dating. That's your permit time. That's where you acquire your permit and you test waters. You learn.
I think like being 18 years old is a bit. For me personally, was a bit different to most guys. What's up, Doc?
No, I was letting them know that when you finish, I would like.
No, go.
Come in, please.
I ain't heard you.
Well, all I was saying was this, right? So I hear everything about the permit and all these other things, but you got to remember there are some passive skills that you obtain watching your parents drive. There's some passive knowledge.
There we go.
The foundation that you got. That's why it's so important for the couple to stay together, because this is going to be your, this is going to be your foundation.
That's your blueprint
that you throw out.
Yep.
There's some things that you take in. There's going to be, mom got really upset when dad stayed out with his friends.
Correct.
Shouldn't do that.
So you remember that. That's a life lesson. That's a life lesson.
That's a life lesson. And aside from that, going back to what Manimal said earlier, right? So, and I'm going to touch on what Treasure was saying. I hope I'm saying that right. It seems like she's saying Treasure.
Yeah, that's Treasure. That's Treasure.
So in order for you to know what she's talking about in her question, because I read it, right? You got to first learn yourself. So you're going to spend that 18-year-olds, you're starting with your 18-year-old self. Somebody you need to know, that's common sense, that if you want to be married, that's your goal one day, right?
Correct.
You like the idea. You haven't been, your ideas haven't been convoluted by all this other nonsense, right? So if you know that's what you want, then as a boy or a man, you need to position yourself. The way you do that is you at 18, you do need to talk to a lot of different people so that you are well versed and you're not nervous when you speak to women. And then you need to also have some balance in the classroom. You need to position yourself to be an earner, right? You need to position yourself to be an earner. Then what else? Then you need to date various females so that you know how each female behaves and how they respond, because you spending this time learning what kind of woman you want, what kind of values you like most, what don't you like. You will learn this while you're dating, whether you may love a modern type woman. You may just love it, but then you may find that you love a more traditional style, or you may like a hybrid, a mix of traditional and modern, just a
traditional and a freak at the same time.
Listen, when you find them, let me know. We gotta clone them. That's a real thing right there.
Come on, guys.
That's some real game. That's some real game.
I want to ask two. I'm going to mention something, but I want Chris. What's your input?
I have nothing yet.
Is
there another question? Everyone, everything she was saying,
all right,
I think makes sense.
She looks like she's filing her early taxes right now.
I wanted to add in something because Doc, you brought up something that just brought up a memory. How many of us in here remember tom-tom weddings?
Jump in the broom?
No. When you was a kid, I remember growing up, there was a thing called tom-tom weddings. This is during 5th grade era. Okay?
Is this like play type?
No. It's more like you're chosen. A girl chose you, or the guy chose the girl, and it's like a debutante type situation.
Is this the one where the parents choose the?
No. It's more like a cotillion dance. If anybody's familiar with
I've heard of these things.
Right.
I've heard of these things.
That started.
Can you explain what it is?
Okay, cotillion dances, because I did it with the church I was going to at the time, and I did it in my school at the time. And the concept was teaching how to curtsy, how to be a gentleman, how to dance.
Those.
Yes. This is old time courtship. This is old time courtship.
Escort those. We had the dance, the ball.
There you go.
That's what cotillion or debutante is. Yep.
Yeah, you had to come in and escort the girl. Like, you learn why
etiquette.
The man
Etiquette.
To the road.
Basic.
You learn etiquette, how to roll your feet when you walking and not plop like a
posture. You learn posture. You learn how to keep your head up. Your neck up.
So this is when y'all said when y'all was talking about 18 years old. I didn't want to chime in at that moment because I was trying to listen more, but it actually started, just like George was saying, it started way younger than that. When you're 9, 10 years old and you're taught how to dance with a woman, where your hands should be at all times, the nape of her back, not too low, not too high, how to escort and all of that. So the cotillion dances and the tom-tom weddings, as they routine called them during the 60s, 70s, and I think up to about the 80s, that's when I stopped seeing it. Those were the blueprints to teach children how to become adults, how to have etiquette, how to interact, and so on.
Where did that come from?
Wow.
I think it's like old. I think it's like old English or old I wouldn't say it's too much of a it's not a Saxon thing, because we even did this in Africa but it's just more of, like I said before, the tribe introducing the families together, because a lot of these things would be in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood would set up this whole dance, whether it be the neighborhood church, the neighborhood block. The families knew each other, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Let's get together and throw these kids a ball." You know, basically it was a ball, or maybe like a winter ball or a spring ball, and they got their families into it and said, "Hey, you know what? I think little Johnny should go out with my Susie to the cotillion," and they would prep you, whether go ahead.
That's what it was, and Alex is putting it very clear for everyone to understand. The cotillion was to teach respectful matters to young people so they can go out into society and thrive. And the debutante ball, those were more like the celebration of joining the young couple together when they turn 18, 21, or whatever.
That's the upgrade. That's the upgrade from the cotillion.
Right. But the teaching, as I was trying to segue from before, the teaching, other than what we know, our mother and our father teaching us how to be women and how to be men. Women are taught how to cook, sew, and clean. Men are taught how to fix things and use their masculine energy. So who taught you how to shave and all this other stuff? Hygiene, who taught you about that? Male and female. That was one isolated in-house thing. But the other part, when it comes to marriage, like you were saying earlier about watching your parents, how they interact, how they resolve problems and all of that. The real teachings came from that. The cotillion, the tom-tom weddings, from when you're younger. And I'm saying that because we need that again, because I'm not going to say anything negative, because remember, this is about promoting promoting marriages in a positive way. But we're lazy as adults.
The community doesn't get together anymore, brother.
We're lazy as adults because the information is there. We choose not to. So I want people to be more receptive to learn and read up, Google, whatever, about cotillion, about the debutantes, about tom-tom weddings, and try to emulate that in your children's lives if you can.
You gotta remember, Carl, like the system wants you to forget your upbringings, your past, your good nature.
I'm not concerned with the system. This is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to do here is get people to see it and try to implement it now within their own life, their own family. Because if you start teaching your sons or your daughters now, what is a dinner fork, what is a salad fork, they can take that to their friends. It becomes a domino effect. But you have to be willing to teach it and
you
learn
have to
yourself.
take time, like you said. They have to take the time out of their day, and most importantly, put down their cell phone.
I'm sorry.
Go on. Look,
I just want to welcome Unique in the panel.
What you're saying is very interesting, but at the same time, it's like Geico, right? So the fact of the matter is you know, I didn't have a mother raise me. Like, I didn't have no one raise me. I had no one teach me shit, right? At the end of the day, it's a personality thing. It's not like you're born how you're born. Like, I think like people just come into situations and we're going around in a circle.
Simon, I'm sorry. This is not the time for excuses. This is not an excuses-free zone. There's no excuse for people not to go on Google and learn what's a formal dinner, what's a debutante, what's a cotillion dance.
What's going on here is you're comparing yourself to people, and the fact of the matter is you can't.
I'm not comparing nobody.
You can't turn around and expect other people to have the same expectations as you. It's just facts. I mean, we are built in a certain type of way, and it's all good having a conversation. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact of the matter is you're not going to get a LeBron James in every damn town. Like, the person's built how they're built. what we need to be doing is connecting people and going, okay, I identify with this and I identify with that. You identify with me and I identify with the way you're talking about how you're talking about your situation, and then connecting that sort of way. We can't, I don't know, I think this whole thing about sort of going around and trying to make other people something else that they are not capable of being.
No. I'm gonna address that.
It can be something where they may feel they just need to tap out because it's just like,
real quick. I think we need to do the order like we typically do.
Yes,
Carl.
normally I do.
It's your show, you're running it today, but I think
yes.
You want to
I got you. Doc.
Yeah.
Come on, Doc.
All right. Bring me up to speed, because somewhere I got lost when we was talking about how did we get here?
Okay, this is where I'm going. I'm doing positive marriage promotion. Okay, so from the beginning, like we did, I started with everybody giving their perspective of what marriage is.
Right.
Then I'm going into, now that we have a perspective in place, do we have the qualifications? Do we have the tools, the foundation to enter into that? And then as a subdivision of that, I brought up the tom-tom weddings, cotillion dances, and so on, because y'all said about starting at 18, when I was just showing that it started in our heritage, it started sooner than that. So now I still want to, before I could go on to the next level, I want to just because I'm not just talking to y'all as a panel. I'm also talking to the general audience because I know people have to learn this. And in case nobody doesn't know, one thing that I really don't like is excuses, because we have the technology. I hate saying that because it reminds me of $6 Million Man. But
I was going to say that.
We have the technology and we have the openness to do it. It's just that we're choosing not to. So anything other than excuses, I'm not really interested in.
Right,
you
Carl,
know what I'm saying?
all right, I'm stupid. Break it down one by one. You got about 5 questions there. So
it's about
continue with the show. Hold on.
That's another one there.
He's gonna drop a question. He's gonna drop a question, and then we're all gonna go through how we think about it. Then we're probably gonna converse about it.
Yes. So
right now, it's getting retracted.
So
we're retracting the statement right now.
No, I'm going back to qualifications because, like I said, we have our perspective of what marriage is. Some people want it, some people don't want it for whatever reason. But in the celebration of the positive promotion of marriage, think when you respond, think as if you was talking to people that are interested in getting married. And what would you be telling them in a positive note of how marriage would benefit them? It's sort of like, think of you as a marriage recruiter.
Yeah,
okay.
So marriage is beautiful. Marriage is something that most people cannot achieve. You know, you just got to look at the statistics. It's it's not happening. So it's like ice cream in summer. It's like, if you can actually achieve a marriage and make it long lasting, you're doing not something just for yourself, but you're doing something for your family and your community. And that provides long lasting legacy for many people, whether you like it or not. But realistically, you want to do it for yourself. The gem of finding a person that you can actually have a relationship with in longevity is something that is kind of like right now, here or there.
I want people to stay on track to the beginning. What tools do you need? Remember, like I said, as an example, before you can get a car, you have to learn where's the battery at, how to maintain. You have to learn certain things before you even get behind the wheel. So let's start from that. The tools necessary to make sure you're ready for it. Can you handle it? Because it's easy to say, I want to get married, but suppose your spouse lose a leg get cancer. Are you ready to sign up for that? You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of tools that we need before we can get into that. Go ahead, brother.
So
I mean,
I'm actually going to go off something that the doctor used to say quite often, that there needs to be 5 places that people generally believe in to have a successful marriage, right? It needs to be kids.
Don't do that.
It needs to be finances. It needs to be religion. There's 2 others that I forgot, but you know, I got.
Wait, what did you get to? Didn't you only name 2?
Talk about the
finances and religion. I missed one.
You need to understand the sex, religion, how to raise kids,
children,
finances,
okay,
and political views.
You
cannot be incongruent with 2 or more of those areas.
Did you say political? Did you say political
incongruent in 2 or more of those areas, then when you're dating, you need to really focus on that incongruency in those 2 areas and see if you can't find some commonality there, or you don't need to move forward because you're not going to get along. Because those 5 will spark the fire. I'm talking about those 5 areas will be the worst arguments you ever get into.
But political though.
So yeah, I was gonna say I have never really had an argument.
Hold on. Really quick. Real quick.
Hold on, guys.
Like he said, 2 or more. Political, if it's a weak point in between the marriage, it might be a point of contention during the marriage, but it will not end the marriage.
I would say religion maybe more so over political views. You know, like if she's a Muslim woman.
You did hear that it could be a weak point, but still the marriage will still be successful, right?
Well, in Islam, it's not so much when it comes to marriage.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to interject this one. I got to interject this one thing because I'm listening to what Clement just said, and what Outlaw said, and what Doc said, and it's funny how Neek said political, and I paused for a minute because. Do y'all remember that people got divorced over vaccination?
Yeah, over the people got divorced over Trump getting into office.
Yeah,
a lot happened because of politics.
I did not know that.
But it wasn't just the politics of it. There was probably other things in their marriage with the politics added onto it too. So it's probably 2 or more areas. So what I'm also going back to saying is these 5 areas in a marriage are very important, as well as there has to be other things piled on top of that for it to actually work. Did you guys ever go into, like recently I started going to pre-engagement counseling to actually properly learn how to talk to each other. You're going to be sitting in front of someone who's been in a marriage for God knows how many years, who's actually telling you, well, this is not going to be easy. Well, sometimes they're going to tell you this, and it's actually going to be a referee between the 2 of you guys, so you guys can actually hash out those real annoying
a good training day.
Exactly, and that's what doesn't happen a lot. Right now, we've destroyed all morals and all values, and then we try to stick things out together when no one in the marriage stands for anything.
Square peg, round hole syndrome.
You're literally falling for every single fight. Right now, we have 0 values, and we're saying, why can't we all stay together? Well, you don't stand for anything. So why are you going to stand for each other's anything? In marriage, you're going to have to stay. You're going to have to stomach some things that you don't like, but it makes the other person happy. In marriage, you're going to have to, as a guy, turn off the game and watch a chick flick with your wife because you enjoy time with your wife more than you enjoy sitting by yourself watching a game. That's what's missing a lot in this generation. People don't really know how to stick it out through those tough times because they don't have checks and balances in place, and they don't really have congruency in a lot of these 5 areas.
Exactly.
The like I was saying earlier about the cotillions and all of that, the training is necessary on teaching both men and women how to transition from a single mindset to a couple mindset, because a lot of people go into relationships and marriages and it's hard to shake off that single mindset, which is me first. It's very hard because most people are not conditioned or prepared. That's why I said, what tools do we have? What blueprint do we have to teach us, hey, I'm ready for marriage?
That's kind of interesting. I mean, because I remember my second child, I was doing music, and it was like, there was no way in hell I could be prepared to have a child. And a child came into my life, and I was totally like resistant to it. I was just like, nope. I was too young. I mean, this is coming back to your 18-year-old syndrome, right? I was kind of young. I guess I was about 21.
Right.
But I was just so into what I was doing that when that child came along, I was just like.
That's what Clement was just saying is, we are so used to, and especially in the Black community, of things thrown at us and we make it work instead of being prepared for it. And this is why I'm trying to stick to the tools as necessary so we could segue into the next part, which deals with, are we prepared for marriage? What do we need? What do we need to be prepared for marriage?
I mean, at that point, I wasn't even thinking about marriage. I was just thinking about getting.
I think other people got to give their points of view too, though.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Do you want me to continue? Or I was just shut
No,
the fuck
please
up.
do.
No.
I was just saying.
Have to give their points of
Can I
view.
ask what the question was? Is there a question?
The question was dealing with the preparation that makes us qualified to get into marriage, because everyone is not qualified if they haven't been provided the tools, the foundation, the blueprint on what it takes of what they're getting into.
The necessary footwork. Right.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying was
Simon. Unique. Is Unique going?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I love to hear your voice, Simon, but let other people talk too.
Yeah, I do the ladies first all the time. I'm sorry.
Oh no, but so the question is preparation.
Right.
Should somebody be prepared, or are we prepared?
Well, that's where everybody get a chance to speak on, as far as their input on preparation.
What are some things that can help stay in marriages, or what are some key points in marriage that are important for people?
Well, I didn't do premarital counseling like that. So I didn't get married in no church, so I figured that I put it like this. Our first episode was our second one was how to transition from girlfriend to wife. Right?
Wow. Yes.
So the only thing, like what I said on that podcast, y'all little peep, was that the only thing I thought about was, okay, now I have to disengage and cut off all my male friends that I know that like me.
Oh.
And then I can
Oh.
I mean, that was a major thing to me. Like, okay,
oh my God,
married and still, even though they're friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
you had a set of spare keys. You had a set of spare keys there, Neat. You had a couple keys on the side. She was a janitor. She was a janitor. She had a whole ring. She had a whole ring of keys.
Oh man!
Just backup. She had backup.
I am
but
like,
right,
okay. See my brother right here, John, right here. I get along way better with boys than I do with girls.
I've heard women say that.
Since I was young. So that's why I tend to have way more male friends, and I probably got like 5 real girlfriends. That's what happened.
I saw this thing on YouTube. Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. It's called monkey
I was
branch.
just gonna say
I didn't know what I was
saw this
doing.
thing on YouTube.
And it was called monkey branching back then.
I
I didn't know. Like you just keeping, you know, those satellites in view and just in case. I didn't know. I was just having friends.
Would you suggest premarital?
Yes, I would suggest premarital counseling, but I would suggest that, like, if you're religious, then you know you go to someone in the church. If you're not religious, then just go to a psychologist or whatever. But I think you should do both. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, because
I nominate Chris and Doc.
A religious person can give you, but main things that you need to change, like as far as like some other people was like in the podcast. Well, you know, now you have to come home at a certain time. Now you have to make sure you think about the future. That was my main thing, was cutting off people that I know that like me and making a end goal for us. Starting something and then making an end goal. That was what I thought you're supposed to do when it comes to marriage. If we were already boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 years, I already know how to get along with you. If I live with you for 4 years, I already know how to get along with you. I already know the fights that we have and not having. So I could bring that to the psychiatrist before we got married or not. But
men pay attention.
I think you should live together for a little while, even though some people don't believe that. I do.
Stop the cap.
Because you don't live together, and then you marry this person, and then all of a sudden it's some things that you wasn't prepared for to see, or what this person does, or how this person acts. But you already know.
That's true.
I ain't saying for 5 years live together, for like a year. Y'all got engaged.
I recommend that too.
Okay, what can a person be doing in their home that is so vile?
Not
different
habits.
The way they put the toilet paper upside down instead of right side up, I cannot marry. I can't see myself marrying.
It's not about that.
I mean, hygiene. I mean, you'll learn their hygiene habits.
Little shit causes big arguments, because that little shit that got on her nerves, then she gonna remember the shit that really fucking made her mad and go into that.
Like what?
Yeah. So the thing that really made her mad was never actually addressed.
I do not agree with that shit.
Come on, Doc.
Think about it. Think about it. That one thing you did will cascade into things that you've done. You know, like that one thing you did that day.
Oh, like Chris was gonna say something?
Let me get one person.
Go ahead, Chris. Chris don't never say shit. Go ahead, Chris. You go right ahead.
I'm
dead.
You know, it's funny. What's funny is that the whole, like, the little stuff will turn to the big stuff. And then eventually, like, it blows up and all of that. It's like, okay, I'll start over. So number one, I would say cohabitating is probably one of the worst things that people can do before they get married.
You are technically correct.
All these things are for people who are not married. I've been married for 15 years.
Don't mean that.
Go ahead.
But I think that's the issue. It's like there's always going to be success stories, but when you look at information that marriage therapists give, when you look at statistics, people that cohabitate are the first to get divorced. They get divorced within the first 7 years. Yep. Their marriages don't last as long,
and they ain't no good.
Yeah, they really struggle. Really struggle.
So what would y'all suggest that if we take that premise?
So I would say I agree with the marriage counseling. I do think that you should see a licensed therapist. I don't really like the idea of just going to see your local pastor, unless your local pastor is also a marriage therapist, like licensed marriage therapist, simply because you have to make sure that they studied and have been trained to not have any bias. Right. Okay. The beautiful thing about marriage therapists and psychologists is that they've been through trainings after trainings to try to reduce as much bias as possible. And even they still have a little bit, because it's really hard to get rid of it completely. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't really want to go to a pastor who hasn't gone through that type of training to that to that level, right? It's a much more intense level, because you could get advice that's not going to benefit you, right? Maybe the man's benefiting because the pastor's leaning more so in his direction, or maybe the woman's benefiting more because he's leaning more in her direction.
So
And so
you're
it might
saying
just create more fights.
So you're saying
don't know.
not a single pastor or somebody that been divorced 2-3
I think
times.
you should do. Well, I think you should go. I think the safest route. That's kind of too much. It's too detailed for me. Safest route: licensed marriage therapist, either for premarital counseling or after you're married, marital counseling.
But does that paperwork or that training really impact lives, or is it just something to like a safety net? Well, they're licensed, they went to school.
Well, you also look at reviews, you also look at testimonials. You also meet your therapist first. You interview your therapist, and then you decide whether or not you want to stay with them. You don't just sign up and you're with them for 3 years. You can break up with your therapist and find a new one.
Hold on, Aunt Laura. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Doc.
Go ahead.
I never, ever. This is the only time. But I always ride with Chris, and I'm gonna ride with Chris on the first part because I agree totally with you. Heard me voicing my opinion. I agree with Chris. I don't believe that you need to live with nobody before you get married. I don't think you have to. I don't believe that. Now the only part is, I think, y'all ready for this? I would never see a licensed marriage therapist. I will go see my preacher, because marriage is not a worldly thing. Marriage is a God thing.
It's a godly thing.
More about it than anything. The first marriage ever created was between Adam and Eve.
Oh.
And it says so in Genesis.
Marriage is a business.
It's biblical.
It is a biblical thing.
I think
without the Bible and Christianity, marriage would not exist.
Period. But there's also something to say about how brains work too, and how people interact together.
Now you're going liberalist.
If I was going to get if I would see a therapist, like a relationship therapist, I would see him when I was dating this person to see if we were wasting time or something like that. But
how about this?
That's pre-engagement counseling, my friend.
How about this? Do you think culture has a thing to do with who you also choose as your marriage counselor? Because I don't think I'm gonna go see Mr. Goldstein about my black marriage when he deals mostly in bar mitzvahs and Jewish marriages, compared to Miss Chang, who knows more about Vietnamese and Korean marriages. I would have to go see a black.
I would agree. Yeah,
because I can understand. And you have to remember one thing too. You have to remember that some of these books and some of these teachings that they place are ideals that can kind of convolute what a real marriage is supposed to be, because a lot of these books are biased to the black marriage and to the black man and woman.
I think if your religion,
they were not made or created with our best interest in mind.
I think your religion is what's gonna. I think it shouldn't matter if it's a white person teaching 2 black people. If they follow the same religion and same doctrine, the same way you do, with the same church you go to, and you see everyone there, then
I don't
know how
many
marriage is. What is the difference between, hey, you're gonna sleep with your wife as you 2 white people versus you're gonna sleep with your wife as 2 black people? Like what difference are they gonna tell you outside of how to actually deal with each other and your conflicts?
Jobs at you.
That's essentially what a premarital anything is going to teach you how to deal with each other in difficult times.
So let me get this straight. Hold on. So let me get this straight. Are you what I'm listening from Clement and from what Chris is saying? We're talking about culturally even unbiased, because I don't want you to follow based upon what I believe in or what I've been through. Like she said, most of these therapists and so forth should be licensed to be unbiased. And you want to shop them enough to know you're not going to teach me based upon what you believe in, what you want it to be like. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all influential.
Exactly. I went through counseling, right? It's kind of funny because I was in a real hurt space at that point. But the woman counselor who was supposed to be counseling me because of my status.
That's the first red flag, but okay.
Look, the woman that was counseling me, because of my status at that point in time, I'm not saying this is present time, I'm just saying like at that point in time, I was trying to tell her about my grievances. I was saying, look, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Do you know what she did?
You're supposed to go through that?
She pulled up, you know, a song of her son, because I was in the music industry. And she was like, oh, I've heard about you, and like, you know, my son's trying to make it in the music industry.
Wow. Not the plug. Not the plug.
You paid her to go see her son perform music in front of you? Or on a phone?
No. He went to go see her for counseling. And instead of her,
and she pitched her son.
Right.
I was like, wow.
You could report her license.
She is the ultimate hustler. That woman was the ultimate.
No, she is the ultimate idiot because she put her license on the line.
Yeah, she almost lost her job. She almost lost her
license. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Arm, like this dude, like you a female. What if he was having issues with females and the issue was not listening, not being heard, and he might have been. And then you did exactly. You confirmed his deepest.
I was in a real deep. This is cognitive therapy, right? So I was in a real sort of like space, and this woman was just like, "Wow!" I was just like, "Okay, is this what cognitive therapy is about?" So you really need to choose who your therapist is.
I mean, I can tell you one thing.
Research them.
I can tell you one thing. I personally never dove into the marriage counseling side, but I have a bachelor's in psychology and sociology, interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships. So, I mean, I didn't go for my master's because I only needed so much studying to be a youth counselor. And that's what before you guys popped up, I was telling Carl how in my city in Florida, in Broward County, Florida, I mentor like teens around 16, 17, 18, like sophomore to pre-college. And we even continue, basic relationships and knowledge and just having somebody to talk to that's based off of what they have not had, which was, real friends because I grew up in a time period where your peers taught you, but my peers are always older. Now you got these kids teaching each other based off of YouTube.
Yeah, we've been through that already.
That's exactly based off of YouTube and Snapchat and TikTok. These kids are trying to teach each other where they have no real basis, but there are still a majority of kids out there that try to look up to somebody. And that's where I came in. I can't really deal too much in relationships, but I have the knowledge to deal with that. You get what I'm saying? And with also that being said, I hear every single point that you guys are dealing with and bringing up, and they're all valid points. I've just known from what I've seen in my studies, because one of the things I was doing before I stopped was I was sitting down with psychologists, marriage counselors, relationship counselors, and listening to their monologues or their theses for certain things. So I've heard all these aspects, and a lot of them bring up the culture thing, as in you should stick with the culture that you're agenda to, because you can relate more and people feel comfortable when they deal with that. You have to understand a relationship between your counselor and you is a comfort zone. You want to be comfortable, and I understand that you might find comfort in other people not of your nationality or race, which is nothing wrong with that, but also
basically you're using it as a tool just for the connection purposes and to put somebody at ease.
There you go.
Okay.
Because in order to build rapport between that person to actually unload, because that's what a psychologist does, they take the load off the person. They're there to listen to everything that they have to say, whether it be good, bad, or in between. They have no judgment on that. They're there to listen. You have to have an open ear and actually really delve in to what these people are coming off, because you'll find things. You might be there on one topic and they'll bring up a whole nother thing. You'll find out that it relates to something that they happened in their childhood, their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, their uncle. You find so many problems, and it's because they unloaded that weight on you. You find the key to what the real problem is and where it's coming from. You know, and even when I took some classes for criminal psychology, you know, where they dealt with sociopaths and what these people had to deal with, and they always came to the one point: their childhood, where their childhood was somewhat impacted by something negative in which it triggered them to have these breakdowns, mental breaks. And it caused a scar. It caused a scar in their own sanity, which they could never repair. And that's what led them down to prostitution, life of crime, murders, all that stuff. And it's even the same with relationships.
Let me not break away. So now I'm going to ask this question so I can put a lighter side to it. Now you're married. Give me at least 3 to 5 things that you feel would make the marriage fun. Come on, Doc.
Being attentive, listening, being spontaneous. So you're not in the same, you're not always in the same mode. Like you're not always in the same routine. You know, break up the routine, right? If you do those 3 right there, it's gonna make the marriage fun.
And that's not just a man thing too. That's a woman thing as well, correct?
Great. Yeah, it's one thing too. Like great communication. I'm talking about. So let me define communication. Let me just kind of give you some context behind the communication I'm talking about. I'm talking about I should be able to go to my boo and talk to her about anything. Like I should be able to be vulnerable with her.
Correct.
If I can't be vulnerable with her, then I shouldn't have never married her.
I should
have tested this out when we were dating. Like I should have gave her something, you know, a little touch of that shoulder, a little bit of that vulnerability when we were dating and see how she handled it. Because not all women can handle it. Because with a man, like that's an end all. Like if I can't be vulnerable around you and I come in the house, you see it all the time. Woman asks the man, "How was your day?" All right, it was all right. Man, it was a whole bunch of shit that happened, but he ain't telling you. I promise you, he'll tell anybody but you. You shut down the communication channel between y'all. And I've seen couples who communicate very, very well and do spontaneous things. I got a partner. His name is the same as mine, John. Him and his wife, they should have been married for years. Everybody, all her girlfriends said, he ain't shit. Don't marry him. He broke, girl. He this and that. Man, dude making $100-some thousand a year. She stood by that dude, filled in the spots, the blanks, gave him purpose again, and moved forward. And when I tell you, man, it's so fucking beautiful. I went and spent time with them, man, because I'm friends with both of them, right? I stayed at their house, and I just looked at their ass one day, bro, after 15 fucking years of marriage. I looked at them, and do you know that motherfucking woman was still looking at this nigga like she just met him? Like she was looking with that damn gaze in her eyes, like, damn, boy, I love the fuck out of you. And he looked at her, he give her that look like, you know, if anything pop off, this man would die right here for her, like, to live. And I was like, that's some shit that I want. Wow.
Well, come on.
Like, wow, that's some beautiful shit.
Come on, Chris. Give me 3 5 things that'll make it
very good relationship.
Give me 3 5 things that would make the marriage fun.
Yeah,
Chris.
Spontaneity was a good one. Showing appreciation. Doing, let me think. John had some good ones. I don't want to repeat all of his. I I guess making your like greetings more exciting too, instead of just being like bye or hey, welcome back home, like actually putting some effort into that. That can make them coming back home to you more exciting, you know, give them something fun to come home to, I guess. And listening, that's John said that was a good one too. And regular check-ins, I guess, so the person knows that you're trying to consistently grow, and that there's room for some positive change, I guess, to look forward to in the future.
Come on, Nate. 3 to 5 things. You stuck? Because I'm getting ready to go. I gotta go to Simon.
I was making a comment.
Oh.
3 to 5 things to
make them that makes marriage fun.
That makes marriage fun?
Fun to be, yeah.
Maybe you should have caught me when I was having fun. I don't
know.
Oh
shit. You know what? Simon, come on, Simon. Give me 3 to 5 things that make marriage fun, bro.
We're going to Simon now. The man that said marriage doesn't include love.
I'm being fair right now.
Okay.
Oh my God!
I said 3 to 5 things that make marriage fun.
That's fun.
That's
fun, not pain. Fun.
A damn thing that is fun about
fun. Fun.
I'll be talking in particular about black women.
The question is 3 to 5 things that you know or you feel would make marriage fun. Simple.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So sit down and shut up when they go to get their hair done at their hairdressers and pay for it.
What?
You know, make sure they can actually navigate life, and you have their best interests at heart. If they ever go on the bus and they have some sort of way of going to you, okay, I don't know how to do this, I'm usually like in a car, then you've got to satisfy them and like just comfort them and say, look, we're not going to get on a bus, baby, we're going to get in a cab. So I think that's 4. And then 5 would be, look, I'm going to cook you something that you've never ever eaten on a takeaway, because I can do that. And you've never seen any other do that. I was being polite.
Simon, I'm not going to lie, you sound real narcissistic right now.
Never mind. Outlaw,
Simon.
let's go. 3 to 5 things, Outlaw. Outlaw.
I could have said something nice there.
He said, I'm going to cook you something
I'm
that no one
you because I know you was stuck.
And you're going to like it.
Listen, Outlaw, 3 to 5 things that make marriage fun.
Okay. Let's see.
Lord
the
have
best
mercy.
thing I can think of is this. Have something that you guys can do together that's relaxing. Whether it be, I used to like to take my girl on picnics. And we used to find specific picnic spots that we could feed the ducks. That was beautiful. Animals, getting a pet, having a pet, whether it be a dog, a cat, a bird, a family animal. That's 2. That you could always bond over that. You could even use that as a scapegoat. But babe, why are you so mad at me? We got to go take the dog for a walk. We got to go feed such and such. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at the cat. And you'd be surprised now. This is life experience.
Yeah.
And the third thing that makes, I would think that'd be good for marriages, brother, is believe it or not, it's kids. It's kids, man. You know, like you can find common resolution. Yeah, you can find common resolution and bringing up your seed right, because you know what, a lot of women really appreciate when a man and a woman can both be there as parents, and she could be like, you know what? She might walk past you one day and see you playing with the baby, girl or boy, it doesn't matter. And that'll end whatever little petty arguments you had that day, or bring common closure to just random bullshit. Because you know what, you got to understand one thing. Women internalize external things. The situations that go around them, they'll take it in. They'll think it's their fault. They'll try to find reason as to why this is happening, and it couldn't have nothing to do with her. But as a mother, as a woman, she's going to sit there and she's going to hold on to that. And she might ask you questions. She might even accuse you. But guess what? At the end of the day, she's just trying to find answers. And as a good man, you should be able to provide those answers. Like Doc was saying, like you should be able to lead. And also what Simon was saying, you should be able to lead. You know, a woman finds comfort in leadership as well as a man finds comfort in being able to teach. You know?
I get your last point. Just be careful with the last point, though. That's what I'm saying. Just be careful.
Learning and teaching? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a two-way road. I mean, a woman can teach me as much as I can teach her. You know, but I have to be open. You have to be open. We have to be open to the lessons of life, whether it be from my mouth or your mouth.
It's that Disney story. Like we sort of like think women are built to do this stuff, and like, oh, they're just going to take care of the kids and whisk them away, and we're going to be like the happy sort of like husband, and just like, oh yeah, I'm going to provide some sandwiches and walk out the door and you know.
I mean, that's very traditional. I mean, I'm about traditional marriages. So
I'm just let me get back.
Everything else. 99.9%.
Thank you, married ladies' opinions. I agree with you as well too.
Yeah, Nick. I apologize.
I agree with that.
Nick, you want to add in?
What am I gonna add? He said everything I wanted.
That was you. Okay, good. She's in the comments, but I didn't see your name pop up. Okay, I got you.
I'm the 3 married ladies moderator. Yeah,
I got you, miss. I got you. Yeah, because I was expecting to see the name Neek come up, but I didn't see that. I see you got to play on words and say Nick at night. It's Neek at night.
Neek is the night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So now this is when it's going to get a little hectic.
Damn, what am I, chopped liver? Do I not get an opinion?
No. I ain't finished yet. Clement is next. Clement got to be next. Come on now.
No. Unique can go. I don't think she actually said anything. She was about.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I thought Outlaw.
What's up in the Baltimore streets?
Okay, my bad. Come on, Nick.
No, so
3 to 5 things that make a marriage fun.
I was gonna say this is how I'm gonna do it. I was gonna say an animal, but my husband hates animals. I was gonna say going partying and having fun and eating and doing stuff with people, but my husband don't like that either. I was gonna say
it's getting awkward. Not things that
I said positive things.
Then I was gonna say what makes it all worth it is when I do see those things.
Right.
What makes it worth it is when I see my daughter smiling and laughing and giggling.
Exactly. Yes.
For dad.
Yes.
My son being happy that his dad is doing something with him. Like
correct.
Those are the moments that I'm like, okay, this is why
it makes it worth it.
Do all this shit right here. But you know, that's what I was gonna say. Those things that, you know, I like partying, I like gathering, I like all those things. I don't love animals that much, but I think if I had one, I'd get used to it because I like animals, but not that much. Like sometimes they might bite you or scratch you, then you know they probably be gone. I'm
gonna cover you, Doc. Give me a second. I want to get Clement in.
What's the last thing I want to say? Even though I said some positive and negative things, the thing about it is having balance in the relationship.
Right.
Having balance with yourself, having balance with that person, and that's the struggle for some people. And
that's the inner conflict.
Yeah. It's mostly an inner conflict, but to get into that point sometimes won't happen in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes it's good to stick it out. Sometimes it's like when you miserable, you don't want to be miserable around your family. So then at that time, then you know, do what's best for you. But what I'm saying is it's both ways. It can be beautiful if you stick it out and you figure out stuff about yourself internally, stuff about the marriage, and make it better in the end, right? Correct. But also, it can go the other way. Balance, neutral. Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on, Clem.
All right. Damn, there was a lot said. It's kind of hard to go after everyone goes. But I'll definitely go. I'll start off with what John was saying. Actually, what pretty much everyone else said is you got to be spontaneous, you know, and in the aspect of breaking routine. Every now and then you got to break routine. If you text at a specific time, text at a random time where they won't expect it, and let them know that you're thinking about them. Always letting that other person know that you're thinking about them, or letting them know that they're loved, that you appreciate them, is definitely nice to know, especially when you least expect it, especially when you're going throughout your day, and it might come in when you least expect it, but it was probably when you most needed it, and things like that are nice. Biblically, it says, you know, you have to die onto oneself every day. You have to be willing to put your ego aside and know that you want the relationship more than you want to be right sometimes. And a lot of times we have our egos. And when you're walking to be like Jesus, like Christ, you're going to have a lot more humility to you. So you're going to see that when you want to combat the most sometimes is when you really should turn the other cheek. This is the person you love. This is the person you want to start a family, have a life with. Why do you want to win so bad instead of find out why you guys have a common enemy, which is that argument? It's the two of you against that argument. So sometimes it's fun when you get past that argument and look back and like, wow, that was stupid. Why were we fighting over something that done? It was Jello. Like, why were we fighting over Jello? You know, like it's fun to have those moments, and setting up date nights. I would say sometimes we actually get to court each other again, and really remember why it is that you fell in love with this person. Doing something corny that you both really like. Me personally, I like a lot of corny things. So anything corny is really what the other person that I like will also like. And it's, you know, it just brings you both back to that moment where it's kind of like, wow, this is why I truly fell in love with this person. So
I like that, the corny things.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Charmin commercial.
So all of that sounds like Disney when you say that little part at the end. You know, Disney's not real, right?
Why is that? You know, you know what I think? I think in this generation,
you know it's not real, right?
We're so afraid to show vulnerability.
I'm not talking about vulnerability. Exactly. I'm talking about Disney.
How is that Disney? Please enlighten me. How is that Disney?
Oh my God.
Theatrical.
This is
what?
I said
Nick's like,
it was
okay, all right. No. Let me give an example. I'll give you an example. Day in and day out, you guys are going back and forth watching the kids. You don't have time to do this. What if one day you came home, you notice that the kids aren't there because your husband got your grandma to watch the kids. He had a dress picked out for you. Okay, we're gonna do this today. You didn't have to worry about any of that. He just had that all lined up. You put on the dress. He comes, picks you up, takes you out somewhere. You have no idea where you're going. Takes you out to that first date spot you guys went to, or that favorite restaurant that you like.
I wouldn't call that corny.
You had a great conversation. Now it all started off on a high. You have no idea what's going on. It's all spontaneous.
And what to expect. You're right.
Exactly.
I have an example. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
But just really quick, for the introverted husbands out there, you can also get a super cheap foot massage off of Amazon, and it collapses. And you can like make dinner, and then when he gets home, take off his backpack and his shoes for him, make him sit down, put his feet in the foot massager, give him a pedicure, serve him his meal on the couch after a hard day, or a few days at work.
Chris, I love that idea.
Shout out to that.
I really love that idea. But Chris, there are some men. I'm one of them that don't touch my feet.
Well, people have to know their husbands. If your husband doesn't like it,
I'm a side back to side.
Any massage, but just
But I
really,
like that though.
the whole thing is, it's not Disney. You're just seeing, okay, my partner is in need.
Exactly.
How can I fill that need and make their life a little bit lighter?
Contribute to an effort.
That's literally your only job. If you every day woke up and said, okay, I'm gonna be a wife today. I'm just gonna try to make my husband's life a little bit easier today. You would probably be more successful in your marriage. Everything else won't even really matter all that much. Just try and make his day a little bit better. If you guys both did that every day, like, that's not Disney. That's just effort.
That's effort.
Okay.
Peace and cooperation.
Okay,
Come on, Doc.
This is just a difference between people who actually make some money and they can do those things and people who don't.
That's not correct.
I don't. No. I'm trying to tell you. Listen. I live in fucking reality, right? I live in fucking reality. I live where if I don't fucking go to work, if I don't do what I gotta do, we don't live here. We don't have a place to stay.
And we don't.
Fuck that Disney shit y'all talking about.
And we don't.
I don't have, everything is drained out of me. By the time I get the fuck out of here, I ain't got no time for that shit.
And we don't.
Everything is drained out of me. I have been carrying shit
all day.
I have been nice to shit all day. So when reality sets up, when you don't have no fucking money to do all that bullshit, then tell me how I can make it better.
I'm going. Hold on, Simon. I'm gonna do this. I love my movie Claudine. Y'all know that's my favorite movie. I like the bubble bath. I don't care what it is in life. The cheapest thing, but the most special thing in the world, is a wine cooler and a bubble bath. A glass of wine and a bubble bath. Anything that's contributory to peace and cooperation can send volumes to a male or female. So we should at least expand our mindset to creative ways, inexpensive ways, simple ways that can make things a little bit more simplified, a little bit more relaxing. I don't care.
Y'all live in Beyonce.
No. I don't. Listen.
When you every day, right? The little bit of sleep that you can grab, that's what the fuck you get.
Right.
There is and then you got little children coming to you wanting stuff.
Right.
So that's the only last energy you got for is them.
That's not totally correct though.
Can I ask you something, Unique?
Okay. It's not totally correct, but I'm living it. Okay, thank you very much.
Unique, can I ask you something? Is that right?
Correct.
Unique.
You hold on, Simon. Stop, Simon. Unique, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you feel that there's sometimes where you guys just don't do nice things for each other? And I genuinely am not trying to make it sound like a personal attack or anything like that.
No,
that is an honest question.
I'm not saying that we don't do nice things for each other. What I'm trying to say is, but it's very few and very far in between. So a lot of it you don't see as a positive because that's very few and far.
The overwhelm, right? The overwhelm where you feel the need to reset.
You're not thinking about 6 months ago, yeah, you did that. Come on now, we struggling. We live in day to day. We live in.
It's hard to hit the reset button. I got you, and like I said, I believe in, even if it's a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's something from the past that can make you smile. Rather it's your childhood, teenage years, even your adulthood, or the beginning of a relationship. Always try to pick out something from the past.
A brain fog because you don't have sleep. You're not understanding.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It'll go 6, 7, 8, 9 months because all you have energy for is to do the shit that you need to do for your children.
And this is
to
I wasn't trying to be rude.
Go to work.
I swear to God. I totally understand where Nick's coming from, because it's like that's what it is for me. Like, I'm a single father. It's like you have zilch aerospace in terms of trying to understand anything. So when I was trying to sort of reach out to Nick, I was like, okay, well, what do you want? Because it's like I'm in a position to do certain things for certain people. Maybe not on your platform. Maybe she can bounce with me on the back and email me, Nick. Okay, like now that you've spoken on it, I'm just saying there's certain things that could be done because I've been through it, right? And this is just an adult conversation. Wasn't trying to be rude or anything, like for real, like. But now that like sometimes, these platforms provide opportunities for us to actually interact in another way that other people don't actually understand. But I do understand what Nick is talking about, because unless you have a child,
it's a job. It's a job. Being married, having children, being an adult, it's a job that sometimes becomes overwhelming. It could become stressful, and this is why I went from the beginning. What did I say, guys? I said, are we equipped? Are we prepared? Sometimes, like Clement said it earlier, we are thrown at things and we just adjust, adapt, accept. We just handle it. And a lot of time we're not prepared for it.
I said that my initial answer to you was no. We're not prepared. We're not equipped.
Well, we can want to learn how to be prepared.
We can't. I mean, this is the thing. We seem to sort of think that there's some sort of course out there that could prepare us for this, or someone could talk to us about it. That's not going to happen, right? I don't know what your situation is, Karl, but if you have 2-3 children and you're the sole provider for those children, the government comes into place. And, for example, if you do not take them to school, you slack for 1 second, it's over. Like, they're all over you. People do not really. I come back to this thing that men do not understand women, because women have to deal with certain things that men don't have to deal with, because you leave the children with them and you just go about your business. Oh yeah, I'm going to get my job, and I'm providing all this stuff. And it's like, okay, pay attention to that. This is a new world. It doesn't work like that anymore. This was a 19 sort of
because sometimes those roles have to switch.
67 law, it's like it doesn't work like that anymore. So now men are feeling a bit uncomfortable about the fact that women are actually going out there and earning some money. That's not the point. The point would be when they choose to have a child, they're going to rely on you. So whatever they're earning and whatever their stats are in terms of, I'm earning X, Y, Z, it's like they're still going to be reliant on you. So if you cannot sort of comprehend what a woman is and the embodiment of the fact that she's going to be able to produce a child for you, then don't do that. Step away and just stay in your lane and be who you are.
Come on, Doc. What you was going to say, Doc?
I'm agreeing with what Simon said in the last part of it, especially. This goes back to the dating. Everybody you go out to dinner with and go out on 5 or 6 dates with is not meant to be your husband or wife. Sometimes sometimes you're with a person who really just don't understand people, because this shit is really easy. It's not
very simple.
Everybody make it out to be.
It's very simple.
Nobody had to tell me that I got a 9-month-old mother, a 9-month pregnant, waddling baby mom walking around the house, that I should probably go get this shit for her. I should probably rub her back. I should probably rub her damn swollen feet. I should probably ask her, do you want me to give you a bath? Because I know it's hard for you to reach in certain places. At least offer. Give her the opportunity to say no.
that's showing
that's
effort.
okay. And then
That's
I'll
showing
offer
effort.
again because I'm putting in the effort.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? Like with my son's mom, right? One of the closest times we ever had was when we actually was homeless together.
Correct.
And my son was a baby. He was 2. She was on the woman and on the women and children's side. I was on the men's side. I remember us walking to find cigarettes, butts from the public park. I remember, but we made it a damn. You couldn't tell because we got up to our showers and you had to leave, so we went walking. So we made it a damn. I carried the baby, and I would try to make her laugh. And all in my mind, I was thinking, how can I get some money? Like, how can I get myself out of here? How the fuck did I get to this position? Like, how the hell do you become homeless? You don't have no drugs. You don't do drugs. You don't drink. What the fuck are you got going on, man? Look, like, this is a conversation I'm having myself. I'm not having it out loud. And I'm not playing a pity party. I'm a fucking man. I have to use logic to figure out how to get the fuck out of this because she's going to roll on emotion. So I had to keep her spirits up so that the emotion won't climax. And then she's snapping in the middle of the street. Because it's not like she's ugly. You know what I'm saying? I need her to still be able to respect me, even though I have not done a good job with the finances. And I have put us in a very bad fucking place. Because at the end of the day, it was my fault. You understand? So I figured out how to climb out of that. And when I climbed out of that, little by little, hell, sometimes a date for us was going getting the dollar menu, feeding the kids, and me jellying her fucking biscuit for her and going back in or coming up with some kind of team to get some food because we ain't had that much money. You understand?
Right.
And they're laughing about this shit later. So like but the thing, the difference is I wanted to be in that role. And when you want to be in that role, that damn motivation to guide you a whole different way.
Yes.
Than a motherfucker who was thrust into that role and didn't want to be there. That's a whole different.
And it humbles you too now, Doc. It humbles the both of y'all. Yeah,
humble me. Waking up with a dude standing over me in the middle of the fucking night.
More than humbles you.
Got thrown out the
God damn.
But you know what?
That's what you call a dose of reality.
When I got thrown out the shelter because I beat this dude ass, because he was, I mean, what you think? I wake up and this strange ass man is standing looking right over me. It shocked me, man. I beat his ass. So they say you gotta go. But she told the woman, tried to separate us. She said, y'all can stay, but he gotta go. And this was the crowning fucking moment for me as to how I saw her. She said, wherever my fucking baby daddy go, I'm gonna go because he should have beat his fucking ass. Let's go. And grabbed the baby and we left.
Beautiful.
Yo, no, I relate to that.
I said, I gotta get us out this shit.
I relate to that shit, bro. I relate to that. I was in that sort of situation. I swear to God, like about 20 years ago. There was some real shit that went down. So I relate to that. I ain't even gonna pull up my whole story about that right now, but I'm just saying I relate to that. And the thing is it's kind of interesting how we're just really comfortable, So let's pay some gratitude to where we're at, and the people that we have relationships with. Because at the end of the day, it's like we've been through some stuff, and we don't necessarily want to like just spill the beans all the time, but the time comes and when it makes sense, it makes sense. Maybe it relates to somebody.
Those trials and tribulations, brother, is what makes a marriage solidify, really. I mean, it could also break them too, but for real, if you can go through those types of things, whether they're big things or small things, if you can go through them together, that's where you know where you're at with your spouse. That's where you know that you did pick the right one, because you're able to go through the trenches. You can go through the trenches and come out untouched. You might get a little flesh wound here and there, but you made it out. The life.
I don't know about untouched, but what will happen?
Yeah, flesh wound.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. You might have a little bit of a scar.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Let me ask you something.
How you doing, Nicola?
Yeah, I wanted to bring welcome to Nicola because it's the first time she's coming up here. I wanted to bring because y'all segue into my next question with this positive marriage, proposal or promoting. I'm sorry. You're in the marriage, and now you're faced with decisions that put you on the spot of how important is the marriage, how important is this person, male or female, to you. They got sick. Now you're the one that have to be the caretaker. They lost their hair. They're not as sexy as when you first met them because of whatever, illnesses, or accident, whatever. I would like to get everybody's take on that. Like, would you put your partner first? Would you stick in it? Would you be that caretaker? Are you strong enough to deal with that person, wipe their ass and everything? Let me get y'all take on that. Going around. Chris.
You're muted.
You're mute.
Can you come back to me?
Okay, neat.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
We're already at the intersection of we're already married. Now we're at the juncture of difficult decision making. Your partner got sick. They got hurt in an accident. They lost their hair. Now you have to be their caregiver. You have to still maintain the marriage, even though they don't look as attractive as they did before. I mean, you could fill in the blank. They come before you, all of that. What's your perspective?
So, I mean, you want what I would do or what I think most women do?
Well, what would you do? Or, and this goes for everybody, what would you do, or what you would tell someone that is asking you, for that advice?
Well, in this day and age, just saying this society is very transactional, toxic. So most people would maybe initially try to help out their spouse, but if it was something long term, I think most people would probably leave them.
Wow.
Now, personally, I'm already a natural. I have my CNA. I love taking care of people, and I am an advocate for people who are in pain or whatever is going on with them. Disabled people, whatever. So I would take care of my spouse. I'm not going to leave my spouse because they got sick. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
Please. No, I wouldn't want nobody else to take care of them in that way anyway. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, no.
It's a vulnerable moment for them at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Come on, Doc.
Oh, no doubt. Come on, man. Yeah, I'll be right there. Like, if she was to lose all her hair, whatnot, man, I know, how many damn lace fronts and shit I done bought in my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know exactly where to go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have her like, I'm gonna get the girl to come to the house and do it. And I'm like, she want the natural part right here. Lord. She want that shit. She want to pull it through the cap. You feel me? I know some shit. I'm a protective person. Like any kind of personality test I've ever taken, I scored high in protection. I scored high in, of course, I'm extroverted, but protection, being protective, I score really, really high in that, and that encompasses caregiving. You feel me? Right. So yeah, I wouldn't go nowhere. I wouldn't go nowhere at all. And I saw the question that Rosa put up there. It was 3 weeks, Rosa. It was 3 weeks.
Wow.
It was 3 weeks before I was able to catch on.
Okay.
I ain't really
Outlaw.
talk about how I stopped being homeless. I mean, we ain't gonna talk about that, but you know.
Come on, Outlaw.
What are we talking about, brother?
You're married. Fill in the blanks. She lost her hair, or she's not as sexy as she used to be, or attractive as she used to be. You the one that got to be the caregiver, wipe her ass. I mean, these are things, or even yourself.
I mean, through thick and thin, that's my wife. That's what I got married for. Sickness and health. That's
Okay.
once you take and that's why I come. Like I said, I've been a very traditional person when it comes to marriage. I believe in these things. These things have solidified a lot of marriages over my years, and will continue to solidify marriages. Once you make that vow or that beautiful right to get married through God's eyes, that is what your goal is. Now, prior to being married, you should indoctrinate those vows as well too. Now, whether you guys are dating and this is gonna be the one, you just haven't popped the question yet. You need to sit over there and show her what it is as a man you bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? And that will help her to realize that this is the man for you. This is what she's been looking for, because you're already pushing that through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha.
You have to, what you do before that relationship or that marriage is going to come into being married as well too, and then just solidify that or add to that. So whatever you've been doing and whatever you've shown her, you will continue that, through sickness and in health. That's why I'm saying you can't be half in, half out. You can't have one foot in the door and one foot out the door. You gotta walk through the door. You gotta jump. That's what you're jumping the broom for in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're making it solid. You're confirming the ideas that you have placed. You're showing improve, and guess what? That's going to be your sanctive union, and that's what makes it a marriage. That that you're going into these things to grow old together, to go through these troubles, to go through hard times. I mean, I can only imagine for those people who have lost children in marriages. Some people have sat there and lost their marriage because they've lost children.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
All right. Well, come on, Simon. You're in the marriage, Simon.
What's the question again? Sorry.
You're in the marriage, and she's not as sexy as she used to be, or she has cancer, or you're the caregiver, or whatever. I mean, can you handle it? Will you do it?
What I'd say to men is pick carefully. My ex-wife, although like I'm not with her, and I have discrepancies about like how she dealt with certain things. I could never call her unsexy, and I think this is something that's not actually been bantered around. Unsexy. Women.
Well, unattractive. Whatever. I'm trying to give examples, but you can fill in the blank. Like I said, examples. She has cancer. She has alopecia. She doesn't look as attractive. She gained 50 pounds. Yeah. Whatever the case that you fill in, the real question is: are you going to stay or are you going to go?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So the latter part of your question is: am I going to stay? Am I going to go? No. The first part of your question is whether she's got alopecia or got cancer or she's got this or that, the other. Date with intention. Get with someone with intention. Like, there's no way in hell that I feel any way about my ex-partner. And it's not to say that we're busting it down or anything like that. It's just, she is just the sexiest woman on earth. And I chose her that way. There's no woman that could compare to her because I had a child of her. So it doesn't really matter. I'm not really out here trying to date and game. But the fact of the matter is I may need to move on. So that may be for me to understand there needs to be some sort of level playing field.
Wait, you just said there has to be an understanding that at some point I need to move on?
Yeah.
He said it. Come on, Nicola.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nicole.
I get it, though. I get it.
You're muted, Nicola.
Clement, are you the one playing these ad-libs? Who's playing these ad-libs? I need to know.
That's Clement. I wish I could do the sound effect.
I'm trying to tell you, boy, because I heard Dave Chappelle talking about what?
Yeah. That's how sound
exactly. I know exactly where that's from.
Nicole, you there?
She was saying that in the private chat. She was saying that she's in bed right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm here, Carl. I'm here. But
All
I
right.
was on the phone talking to someone in the meantime. But I heard your question. And yes, I'm staying. Long story short.
His dick fall off or got cut off, amputated, legs off.
Accidentally fell into a blender.
I'm saying, come on.
Still saying you can always find toys to help with the rest
I'm
of it.
trying to remember. The reason why I brought that up because y'all know that movie.
He went broke. He's got nothing else left. There's no way for him to give you provision.
No, y'all remember that movie with Tyler Perry? When I call him Eugene, but Steve Harris, I believe, and he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Right. So that's what I was thinking about, formulating that question, because it's one thing when you take things for granted. You can move, you could do this, you could do that. It's another when you're in a position now where you accidentally got shot, you're paralyzed, your hair falls out, you lost your titty, you lost your dick, whatever, amputated. Now somebody got to have to care for you. And that, like Clement said before about that vulnerability, and now you gotta. So a lot of people want to be married, or they sign up to be married, but they're not prepared for that, or they're not registered to handle that. So that's what I wanted to get a perception on. Would you stay? Would you go? Are you that person that would care? What would you tell people that would come to you for that advice? Yo, my man's dick got cut off. What should I do? Should I stay with him or should I leave? Nicole?
I think she answered that. That's why she
answered
that.
Well, you were talking to me, right, Carl?
Yeah, I was talking to everybody, but yeah.
Yes, I'm still staying.
Okay.
There's always a lot of things you can do to, make up for all the other things that you can't do.
Okay.
So you're in it. You got to be in it all the way. Otherwise, don't get in it.
Okay. Brother Clement.
I think it'll be, I'm not going to cap and say like, oh, it's going to be easy yes. That's not really an easy yes, because now you have to think like, all right, now I'm going to have to be working double, triple amount of time. And then I'm also going to have to be coming home and taking care of this person that we once shared a life where we went around, we walked around, we did all these things. And now they're completely bound and they don't feel as beautiful anymore. They don't think highly of themselves anymore. And it's you got to come home and you got to make them feel loved. And then that is going back to, you're going to be running on empty a lot. You're going to be on exhaustion all the time.
I don't know if they're not going to be feeling beautiful anymore. I think like you will get, people in society where it's just like, you think that they're not feeling beautiful, but we do. I mean, like, especially women, like in any set of circumstances, you could be in a wheelchair or like you could be.
Women, I want to say, have probably the most self-esteem issues. Like, I think women have far more self-esteem issues than men do.
But they also
recognize
have
that everything, their entire life revolves around their image. So they're always thinking, am I too skinny? Am I too fat? Am I too this? Am I too that? And now add on like being sick on top of that, where you start losing your hair, you become sickly, your skin doesn't look as vibrant. Like there's all these things that are piled on top of that. You think they're still gonna be like feeling good about themselves.
Right. So like let's take Kevin Samuels, right? Where these women will chime in and they would have like no idea about whether they were a 9 or a 6. So are you telling me that they had some real idea about their self-esteem issues?
Yeah, they'd rather
for the most part,
tell themselves those lies than have to sometimes look in that mirror and realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like false.
It's much better to tell comforting lies. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
That's more like false confidence, right? If I say it out loud, then I'm going to believe it.
Exactly.
So there's actually a study that goes through this, and basically women are much better at noticing the things about them that are physically superior, right? Men are better at noticing like their talents, their skills. That's why men typically interview better than women, because women aren't as good at like sitting down and like, this is what I'm good at in terms of skills. But a woman can tell you things about her physical appearance that she really likes, because she understands that's how she's going to get the things that she wants for the most part. And this is just to say, I'm not saying all women are this shallow forever, but initially the first 7 seconds you meet someone, they're looking at you physically, and women are very, very good at being able to think about things about them that are on the nicer side, and things about them that can be improved. That's why women are, they're getting cosmetic surgery. That's why they wear makeup. That's why they do these things, because we understand inherently there are certain things that men find more attractive, and that other women are going to create a hierarchy on.
Thank you very much.
Modesty.
Right.
I wanted to chime in on what Simon was saying, but also what Clement was saying, and this is how in my personal life, I dealt with a young lady that was very gorgeous, body and all. And she was a district attorney at the time. And the relationship was fine. And she happened to come down with multiple sclerosis. And if you know, multiple sclerosis is one of them things that rapidly progresses. So we was together for a good while. We're talking about some years now. We're talking about 3-4 years in this window. And regardless, that was the first time I tested myself on what I do and what I would. Because in hindsight, we all say what we wouldn't do or what we can't. I was put in a position where I had to challenge and test myself. And I hesitated not one time to wipe her down, wipe her shit from my ass and all of that stuff. And it's funny, being wheelchair bound and this thing progressing, she's the one that didn't want me around, because she felt that I was, I don't know if she felt that I was like she was right, this guilt thing. And I didn't have an issue with it. And it took everything in me to respect her wishes. Let me put it that way, because I didn't want to leave. And I'm gonna tell you, there's been some years, I don't even know what happened to her. I don't know if she's alive or not. But it taught me that I am that guy that, like y'all said, if you're in it, you're in it. So I don't care if you get sick, lose your hair, lost a titty, whatever. I have to be that caregiver. I have to be in it all the way and take care of you. And I hope that you're also going to do the same for me if something happened to me. And I think a lot of people, when they get into these relationships and marriages, that's not even in the forefront of their mind when you're sitting here saying, well, I wonder if he got money. I wonder if he got children. I wonder this. Oh, I wonder if she's a good cook. No, I want to know if you're the type of person that's going to stick around if I lose all my hair, my teeth, and don't look as tall and handsome no more. I want to know if you're going to stick around, and vice versa for the men, because it's easier for men. I think it was Simon that said it's easier for men to get up and go as opposed to women. Women get up and go, leave a dude in a heartbeat. But men, I've seen a lot of men get cheated on. They still try to stick around. They might bitch and argue, but they ain't leaving the motherfucker. And it's funny to me.
That's crazy to me. But we are past that 2-hour mark.
Mm-hmm. Well,
technically, you did start 17 minutes early.
Hey, I was messing with the button and learning, and I started the show early.
Crazy early.
I appreciate everybody's input, perception, and really, I'm learning some things, but I'm also hoping that people listen to the podcast, or even next week, next month, whatever. I hope people understand or take away from this that it's not a bad thing to be married, that it's more of a need than a want. Regardless if it's transactional, regardless of whatever perception people throw in it, we have to do it because we need to do it. Because as we get older, as I was getting ready to close out with, when you get to an age where you're not sexy no more, you can't go to the clubs and all that, you're going to need somebody to take care of your black ass.
Well said.
And guess what? For those that children, they gonna be doing their thing. Nobody wants to sit around wiping grandma and grandpa's ass. So please don't rely on your children to be clingy to you like that, because they got a life to live. And as a parent, if you're not a selfish parent, you would let them live their life. Focus on getting you a partner so they don't have to be your caregiver. That's a selfish thing that a lot of people do.
All right, bro.
Facts.
Well, Karl, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Nicola.
How often do you usually do this?
We all take turns. We're here at 8:30 every Tuesday. And brother, this is Clement's baby, and we all support him.
All right. Nice to meet you guys.
Come back anytime.
Thank you all for having me.
Definitely tune in.
Nice to
we
meet
go
you,
live
man.
at 2:30 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday.
Mhm.
If you're definitely interested, we can hop on the panel. We are gearing a lot more of this channel more towards marriage talk.
Okay.
Things that people can know, things that people can learn, but really trying to promote a lot more marriage, or people getting together and people really learning how to understand and live and, I guess, tolerate each other.
Okay.
So that's the whole goal here. But thank
Well,
you.
I do a podcast every Friday night on Instagram, so you guys can follow me. Karl has my my handle.
You'll have your closing. Trust me. You're gonna have your chance to put it out there. In your own words.
So hopefully I get to see you guys there.
Nicola, put your handle in the chat so I can put it up.
Okay. I was actually I just saw that.
There it is, Nikki_podcast on Instagram.
You typed
I
it
do
in?
it every Friday at 8:30.
It's a private chat.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this other chat here.
No. Unique, you're gonna, I believe, do that for her.
Yeah, get Unique to take care of you.
Unique is gonna do it for you.
Yeah, because the comment box doesn't let me leave anything in there.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna close out on our usual style, our usual fashion.
Yes.
We'll start with me. Well, Karl, you want to say?
Oh, go ahead. Like I said, the takeaway from all of this is marriage is a good thing. It has its pros and cons. We have to prepare ourselves, regardless of the excuses, regardless of your upbringing and background, and regardless of what negative input people are giving you on social media, on the news, or wherever. The bottom line is you need to invest on who is going to be your caregiver when you're getting older, because nobody wants to die alone. It's very depressing. And like I said, it's selfish when you think your kids is going to be that. So you need to work on who's going to be your partner for life. And it's a positive thing.
Hi, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I guess my last words would be remembering that no one's perfect and you're not perfect either. There's always room to grow in everything that you do, including a marriage. And I honestly think that if you're not growing, you're actually dying. You know, every day that you sit stagnant, you're actually regressing, and you're going to take a step back. And now instead of you going to take 2 steps forward, now you're taking 3 steps forward. And I think that just makes everything much more of a hassle. So remembering every day to put in some time and attention to your own personal growth. And then also if you're married or planning on being married, helping that be stronger as well and gaining the skills to have a successful marriage. As far as my channel, I do have a channel on YouTube called The Blooming Ebony. I also have an Instagram. You can follow me at The Blooming Ebony. And yeah, if you want to ever chat, you feel free to DM me. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good night.
We got the doctor.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You can always follow me on Instagram, behavior_consultant. My takeaway from the show, hey, look, marriage is a beautiful thing. You know, it works a lot better when you marry the right person. So take time when you're dating, and consult your playbook, because there is a playbook out there. Now, if you're just, if you're not a religious person, you don't really have a playbook, but you know, maybe you can go to the library and look up something about marriage. But I'm just saying, just think about that.
Sorry, I think I did that kind of early.
Sound guy.
Yes, sir. You guys can follow me on IG, OutlawStar88. I thank Karl for inviting me. I thank you guys for your time. Basically, like I said, in life, you know what you want. You know what you want out of life. And when you choose a partner, you're choosing a partner with similar ideas. You know, so at the end of the day, the best thing I can tell anybody who's considering marriage is to keep your values and align them with your partners, and let your partner's values ideal with yourself. And you guys will both be on a level plane, because at marriage, there's nobody greater than y'all. It's you guys against the world. And that's something that you got to take with you. You got to understand that. Thank you, guys.
We got Simon.
You're gonna pull me up on this. Oh my lord. Okay. All right. Peace to CKQ podcast and the panel. This whole conversation has been really interesting. So what we've been talking about is you know, relationships and marriage and things like that. And if you want to really be interested in seeing and hearing more about that sort of stuff, then keep in tune. Shout out to Chris, shout out to Clement, and shout out to the rest of the panel. Nick, you know, shout me up, man. I got you, man. Baltimore's bad.
Nicola.
Hey guys, I guess I'll turn the camera on for this part. And oh, you guys still can't see me either way. So I'm the late newcomer, and so far I must say I like the conversation. I'll definitely be back. Karl, thank you again for sending me the invite. No problem. And it was really nice meeting you guys. Hopefully I get to see some more of you guys next week, Tuesday, right?
Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Shout out
there's a lot. Awesome. I think there's a lot that I can learn from you guys in here, so I'll definitely be back. And thank you for having me.
We have the greatest moderator on YouTube.
Yes. We gotta get her a vacation.
But she is kind of muted though, because she don't notice that.
My bad.
We gotta get her a vacation in the Poconos or something.
I'm going on vacation next month. It was paid for before all hell broke loose. But anyway, follow CKQ every Tuesday right here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We focusing on marriage now, y'all. Also, follow me, Neek is the Night, on Instagram and YouTube. And 3 Married Ladies Opinions podcast is still up, still running. Not no new episodes, but if you've never seen it before, it's new to you. So go check it out right now. And what I wanted to say about marriage, even though marriage is, I want people to not always be thinking that it's just going to be bright colors, fun, all this thing all the time. I think that's what my point was, is that you have to really think about, and the scenarios that you're going to be put in, that you're going to have to work through. It may be times that you're not going to be able to communicate, and you still have to know how to move and get along and be a team and do for your children and do what you need to do. I just want people to know that it's actually things that you have to do and work. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get into that rut of not being able to recognize your partner, then you're going to have to try to get out of it. Because if you don't, then it could lead to divorce. So don't just always think that everything is bright and sunny, but you have to try to make it that way. Communication is the key. If you're not communicating, then you're not going to get through it. But marriage, it's a benefit. It's not a benefit to die alone. So that's it.
Thank you, everyone. My camera died, people. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But thank you, everyone, for coming. On the last note, I will say I will be dropping some clips and videos that I'm going to, pre-engagement counseling, and I definitely want. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people never even heard about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never even heard about it until the person I'm talking to even introduced it to me and thought it's something that is good, because right there and then we get to, in real time, work out things and really figure out if we actually want to be with each other or not. And it's very good. It's very eye-opening. You learn a lot. You definitely get to grow as a person, and you get to grow with the person, see them in the worst possible kind of light. And I think that is the best possible thing, is really trying to set yourself up for the best possible scenario in marriage. So that's what I would say to a lot of people that are listening, is try to prepare yourself, and especially if you're with someone, get yourself in a church, because I always think it's good to have a community of people, because they can help you out in situations when you guys aren't necessarily, fully trusting each other the most. And then get yourself some counseling, because it's good to prep and get yourself ready for that big day, because there are people out there that know more than us, and it's always good for us to learn how to be better in these situations. But that is all I have to say to that. I'll probably try to drop that video tonight. But if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button to this channel for more content like this. We go live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, every Tuesday. But other than that, it's been a great night. Carl was your host tonight. He started the show early, but we're not going to talk about that.
I have an idea that might help everyone out, because I'm looking.
Yeah, it was ending. It was ending. Next week we'll talk about that idea.
Just stay on.
Okay.
But enjoy your night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth. Start speaking the truth. Might get I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is mean or I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we can paint the perfect picture without belittling each other. Cause under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility. But not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen Flint, Michigan, and just being cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they can find someone.
And expecting you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
We gotta have weaker vessel and the more vulnerable.
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, bruh.
And nobody.
They shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part. And it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
Poet, and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes. Expose it, listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping we clash on lower levels, just like in the past. But